So we are Maison Yagu. I'm Corentin Daudigny.
And I'm Amy Lauren.
So I founded Maison Yagu. Yagu actually means water, and I really like that about the name because water is what connects us to each other and to the planet. Maison Yagu was founded in Barcelona. It's an agender luxury brand specialized in bespoke tailoring, meaning we don't do collection, it's trans-seasonal, and we use sustainable practices only. Maison Yagu very much is a unique brand in the world because it's not something like you can find anywhere else. You have to come to the showroom. We don't sell online. And Maison Yagu is very much about loving yourself. Sustainability, we always talk about the impact on the planet, which is very important. But how can we care about others if we don't care about ourselves? So Maison Yagu is a call to love yourself, and Maison Yagu's tagline very much is, if only you love yourself, and God forbids, it brings you joy. And it's about also undoing the shame, whether it's it comes from actually myself. I was bullied severely when I was a child, but I had parents that allowed me to be myself, and clothing has always been a means for me to embrace and to empower me. So with Maison Yagu, I want to do that, whether it's societal norms that have really created a split between genders, whether like you're a man that doesn't allow himself to express himself through its unique clothing. So it's very much about breaking down the barriers and wearing it on your sleeves. So yes, and it's also an invitation to say, if you don't have to fit in boxes in society. So you don't have to fit in clothes that don't fit you, but if you fit in the clothes that fit you, both metaphorically and literally, then you're going to have a better life. And if you're kind to yourself, you can be kind to others. And that's when also like the sustainability part comes from that. Sustainability is self-love. And buying fast fashion is actually self-hatred. So with Maison Yagu, you have the choice to do that. And it's only your own decision. So today we are wearing the sea ice, the Arctic sea ice collection. It is not a collection because it's not seasonal, but it is representing the melting of the Arctic. And today it's a bit of a sneak peek of what we will be showing on Saturday, the 9th.
I'm a filmmaker. I film in the polar research community, meaning that I make documentaries about research expeditions to the Arctic and Southern Ocean. And so I work with sea ice physicists who study the physics of sea ice, the microstructure of the crystals, and they use polarized light to do that. And so when the sea ice is put between polarized light, you can actually see the individual crystals and then see how they change in shape, size, texture, and orientation through the growth melt season, an annual cycle. And that's important because it impacts the amount of sunlight that passes through the sea ice to the ocean, which impacts biological productivity and then the global carbon cycle. And so when Corentin saw my images of the sea ice on my computer and just passed by and was open and curious enough to ask me about it. And from there, he said, I can tell the story of the Arctic Ocean and the sea ice melt through fabric, pattern, and design.
In the scientific term, the thin section through which those fabrics are from, they are called fabric. The Arctic is the kitchen of the weather for the northern hemisphere, and it's protecting literally the oceans, the microbiology, and also the carbon cycle. So that is a link between Yagu, and also as said before, Yagu means water in Guinea-Bissau. So that's very much full circle. But then this capsule collection, if we can say it's a collection, it's very much merged between the climate science, between sustainable practices in fashion, technology, and at large human rights. And most people don't understand that in order for fashion to really change, we need people to understand the intersectional connections of the industries. So that's why we brought all of them together to address the fast fashion, which is very much the issue in the fashion industry, but also the luxury industry, producing like a lot of volumes. And this collection is very much also like low volumes. And we have printed those different thin sections on different sustainable textiles. So we have ficus, we have recycled fishnets, we have BCI cotton. So we're not saying one sustainable practice is the answer, but we're saying some sustainable practices can be sustainable in one part of the world, but in another part of the world, it might not be sustainable. So it's as much as there's no one size fits all for clothes, for Maison Yagu, there's no one size fits all for sustainability. So what we're doing very much is about, we want to take on the fashion industry and be the leading voice through the Arctic, because the Arctic is the leading voice of climate change, and we are the leading voice for the fashion industry by doing that.
And so what we're wearing, what you're seeing a sneak preview, these are Arctic crystals. So this is water in different stages of melt and growth, melt and freeze. And so the crystalline structure, as Corey mentioned, the crystalline fabric of the ice changes throughout this season. So this is summer ice. This is what summer crystals look like. And this is what second year fall ice looks like. And what's very exciting too is that the collection, which we're also calling Sea Ice Stories, because they are stories in a sense, has become Project Sea Ice, which is a unique retail expansion plan to overcome the challenges that inhibit businesses from scaling sustainably. And so it's a research and development model to go into new areas and learn about practices that are sustainable specifically to that region, learn about the environmental and human rights violations happening there, what are the practices that mitigate them, and then to build collaborations and bridges and grow into that area and open up a new Maison Yagu, growing sustainably really from the ground up.
So my advice for anyone wanted to create a brand, I think today it's not enough to just wanted to create a brand. It has to come from your gut. It has to be your mission in life. The question I would ask myself is, can I do something else? And the answer is no. Then that's a good starting point. If I don't do what I do, I'd rather not be on this planet. So that has to be your mission. And then there's a lot of people always like asking, how do I do that, and how can I start? There's no one size fits all. You just have to jump in. You just have to try, but you just have to stay true to yourself, and you just really have to mean everything that you do and you say. And also more than that, on the bigger picture, especially nowadays with the climate change, with the human rights, you cannot start a brand without incorporating that in the architecture of your business model. Your business model has to embed the social impact, the climate social justice, the climate science, which is why like we're doing what we do. So if your brand cannot have that in your business model, then just don't do it. And that's an advice also I had from my father is no one is going to knock at your door and hand everything to you. So you just have to go for it. You're not going to count the hours. You're going to spend a lot of time doubting yourself, but don't doubt yourself if that's your mission. Just keep doing, and it will always pay off.